Why is it you, Chris? It's him. It's his life. Why is it, again, I keep hearing you in the conversation.
Because without me, you can't make the money.
Will your son ever be champion?
As long as he thinks it's about the belts he has around his waist, no, he'll never be a champion. It's only about how people feel about you.
I can live with my life knowing that, all right, yeah, I messed up, so I've got to pay the price. But I can't live with they made the wrong decision. And now.
Ahead of the eagerly awaited bout between Chris Eubank Jr. and Conor Benn, Chris Eubank Sr. has stated that he would be completely behind his son. Despite the dramatic nature of the bout, the renowned boxer, who is recognized for his iconic presence both inside and beyond the ring, recently spoke out and reaffirmed his undying support for his son. Fans are left wondering how much more is going on behind the scenes, as Eubank Sr. alluded to the fight's intensity and personal stakes with a blend of fatherly pride and scathing comments. He'll be on his side, but given the history between the two warriors, it appears that the weight of those remarks carries more than simply familial loyalty.
My father actually, he was the opposite in terms of supporting or, pushing me towards boxing. He banned me from going to boxing gyms for a couple of years. He didn't think I'd be tough enough. I was begging him all the time, let me go to the gym, let me go and spar, let me go and train. And he would just tell me, no, you're not going. Stick with your athletics, stick with your rugby, stick with your football, stick with your studies. That was a big thing for him, because he didn't have that education growing up. Boxing is going to be too tough. It's too hard. I've been there, I've done it. I know what you're going to have to go through to make something of yourself in this sport. And, it's too tough. Where you are, you're in a mansion, you go to private school, you've got everything you need and want here. Why do you need to go down to the gym and get your ass kicked every day? You don't need to do that. It took years of me nagging and begging, let me do it. Finally, he gave it.
One of the most famous rivalries in British boxing history is still that between Chris Eubank Sr. and Nigel Benn. Their high stakes first fight, which took place in November 1990, enthralled audiences with its drama and ferocity. Eubank Sr. and unbeaten, self-assured technician Nigel Benn were both in their prime at the time. Benn was a fierce puncher with an unrelenting technique. The fight lived up to the hype, as Eubank won the WBO middleweight belt by stopping Benn in the 9th round after enduring his early aggressiveness.
Your dad intervened with the egg throwing and put his arm, I think, on your throat. And at the second press conference, you basically threatened Nigel Benn. Said if he did that again, you'd deal with him. And
it wasn't a threat, it was a promise.
Oh, it's not a promise, is it?
You can't touch
scumbag.
You can't.
What we did.
You can throw an egg in his face and his father can't.
No,
me and him are fighting.
You're just upset.
Me and you are fighting.
Your dad can't stand you and my dad has my back. You are, that's all that
I'm not
was.
upset.
My dad put
me and you are fighting. Whatever happens between us,
my dad would put his arms around you again. What are you going to do about it?
No one else.
What are you going to do about it? Tell me.
No one else can touch me.
Tell me.
If they do, there'll be consequences.
Oh, consequences to what?
If anyone else
slap you right now, if
anyone else touches me,
what if I was to slap you right now? What are you going to do about it?
Yeah, go on, go ahead.
Yeah, talk about my dad.
I'm not talking about your dad.
No.
But I told him.
But
I told him.
Get off me, please.
My old man would never touch you, so your old man's never going to touch me.
I would never slap you.
You would never slap me.
Yeah, no, I would slap you.
You put your hands on me twice since my last fight.
When?
You pushed me.
Push, a little push.
Yeah, it doesn't matter. You put your hands on me.
Little push and stuff. Stop moaning about it.
You put your hands on me.
Stop moaning about it. A little push and shove. Stop moaning about it. Talk about my dad.
You put your hands on me, I put my hands on you.
I'll never disrespect your dad.
Yes, you would. You disrespected him before.
What, the fact that he don't like you? It's a matter of fact.
Okay, well, it's disrespect.
That's a matter of fact. How's that disrespect?
You can't give it and not take it.
You fucked up by talking about my dad. You done fucked up talking about my dad.
You fucked up by taking
his fight. Yeah.
Despite being as spectacular, their October 1993 rematch ended in a split draw, leaving both men disappointed and the audience demanding a trilogy that never materialized. The competition was characterized by intense respect for one another, despite their divergent personalities and combat techniques. Benn's unadulterated anger and emotional intensity were a great match for Eubank's flair and psychological strategies, constructing an engaging story that went beyond the ring. Decades later, their sons take center stage and carry on the family's tradition of pride, perseverance, and unresolved issues. Their contest is more than simply a fight. because of the weight of history attached to the revived rivalry. Legacy, identity, and atonement will be the driving forces behind this generational conflict.
Oh, mate, that'd be legendary. You know, that'd be legendary. I'd love that.
We know that your dad has had two very, very famous fights in the 90s with Chris Sr. You're, what, 3 or 4 weight divisions away from Chris Eubank Jr. at the moment, but you are 19 and you will continue to grow and you will continue to put weight on. What chance of you fighting Chris Eubank Jr. at some point in the future?
Oh, mate, that'd be legendary. You know, that'd be legendary. I'd love that. I'd love that. You could, you know, but there's so many obstacles I've got to get first before we can even consider that. Yeah. So far, it's just a fantasy for the British public. You know, but who knows? Who knows what the future holds?
The upcoming clash between Chris Eubank Jr. and Conor Benn is generating serious buzz, largely due to the fact that they come from different weight classes. Eubank Jr., with an impressive record of 32 wins and only 2 losses, has built his career in the middleweight and super middleweight divisions. His experience fighting in heavier weight classes gives him a clear advantage in size, strength, and durability. Known for his sharp technique, athleticism, and mental toughness, Eubank Jr. has consistently tested himself against high-level opposition. Conor Benn, meanwhile, has made his mark in the welterweight division, remaining undefeated. With 21 wins, he's known for his explosive punching power and relentless aggressive style. Over the past few years, Benn has matured from a raw prospect into a serious contender. However, this fight will be his first time competing above 147 pounds, making the 156-pound catchweight a bold leap into unfamiliar territory. To make this blockbuster bout happen, both fighters had to compromise. Eubank Jr. must drop below his usual fighting weight, which could affect his strength, stamina, and ability to absorb punches. Benn, on the other hand, needs to pack on extra weight without sacrificing his trademark speed and explosiveness. A major challenge. The agreed-upon catchweight of 156 pounds, just shy of junior middleweight, is a calculated middle ground, but one that introduces significant physical and strategic risks for both fighters.
You know, if Chris is even 70% of what he was, he's far too big for Benn. If he is really gone and shot, then yeah, he has a very good chance because, you know, he's the guy that can eat comfortably. You know, he doesn't have to pull himself down to make weight. You know, I look at it the same as I look at the, you know, obviously Devin Haney and Ryan Garcia fight. You know, a lot of people just don't understand. You know, one guy planned not to make weight and one guy was actually working hard to make the weight. It's not a fair fight, and that's without even talking about, you know, the accusations about with the PEDs.
Chris Eubank Sr. has been vocally critical of his son's scheduled fight, raising serious concerns about the bout's structure and the potential health risks it presents. His primary objection centers on the agreed catchweight of 157 pounds, which forces Chris Eubank Jr. to cut 3 pounds below the middleweight limit, a move his father believes is dangerous and unnecessary. Eubank Sr. has consistently warned that such a weight cut could lead to severe dehydration, weaken his son physically, and increase the risk of long-term health issues. In a series of passionate statements, Eubank Sr. has expressed outrage at the promoters, accusing them of prioritizing financial gain over fighter safety. In one particularly emotional interview, he even went so far as to say, "You tried to murder my boys. I'm coming for you," highlighting the depth of his concern. He sees the fight's conditions not only as unfair, but also as bordering on unethical. According to Eubank Sr., these terms could seriously impair his son's performance and endanger his well-being, warning that such extreme weight manipulation puts fighters in harm's way. He has argued that unless the fight terms are revised, the bout should not go ahead. His stance reflects both a father's protective instinct and a broader concern for the ethics of matchmaking in the sport. Eubank Sr.'s passionate opposition underscores the serious questions surrounding the physical demands placed on fighters in high-profile bouts.
For 8 pounds? You better watch out, dreadlocks. You better watch out, because we are come for you. Sorry, it's my mother's tongue again. It comes through. You'd better watch out, because we're not playing. We're real, and we are a terror. And the procedure will be parliamentary. Rastafari.
Chris Eubank Sr. has voiced deep concern over the looming clash between his son, Chris Eubank Jr., and Conor Benn, not out of doubt in his son's skills, but from a father's protective instincts. He acknowledges Benn as a serious threat, one not to be underestimated. While some may downplay Benn's current power, Eubank Sr., with decades of experience in the sport, understands the unpredictable and brutal nature of boxing. His respect for the danger Benn presents is clear and genuine. For Eubank Sr., this isn't about questioning Eubank Jr.'s talent or readiness. He's proud of his son's accomplishments and recognizes his ability in the ring. His concern lies in the potential long-term consequences such a high-risk fight could bring. Boxing, at its core, is unforgiving, and Eubank Sr. has seen firsthand what it can take from those who step into the ring, both physically and mentally. His stance is more of a cautionary plea than a critique. He sees the fight as potentially doing more harm than good, not just for the moment, but for his son's future. Eubank Sr. wants to see his son succeed, but not at the cost of his well-being.
Conor go and have his illustrious career here in the United Kingdom and then in the United States because he beats them all. That's how fantastic I think he is. I've always backed you, Conor. I've always backed you. Okay, you're sensible. If it's true that you've said things about me which are not complimentary, I don't mind that. I'm looking at the people that you're around. Here it is. You know the spirit world. That's how I know you're an honest man. The people around you are part of a gang. It's a team thing. You're the mark. Okay, the only person who's going to look out for you is you, supposed to be your dad, and people like me. You can trust me. Yeah, you've seen me get up in a fight I can't win and walk back into the fire. You can trust me. I'm not going to give you any, I'm not going to mislead you. You know, I'm a lawman.
His words reflect the difficult balance between pride in a fighter's courage and the fear every father feels when their child steps into danger, no matter how skilled or prepared they may be.
My concern for Eubank is the amount of weight this boy's got to cut to come down to, I think the fight's made at 160 pounds, is that right? Right. So he's got to come down from 100, from whatever his walking round weight is. Let's say he walks around at 180 pound when he's out of training. That's like 20 pound weight difference, right? That he's got to lose. It's not safe. It's not. He can't possibly be at his physically strongest. He can't. And he's really putting himself on the line, right? Because when your weight weakened, I know I've been weight drained in fights previously. So I'm speaking from a point of reference. When you're weight drained, it doesn't matter what you eat on the day, it doesn't make you strong.